guys, this is your first week to work on a practice sheet for my class. So I know this says practice sheet number 2, but that's because my practice sheets always match up with the week of school that we're in. So we are now in the second week of school, and a practice sheet basically will review various concepts. It might be something you learned in 5th grade, 6th grade, up to 7th grade, maybe even beyond. It just depends on what we cover. It's a cumulative review. So right now, I'm assuming we know how to do this information on here, but if we don't, I am going to guide you through some problems. So today we're going to go through 2 or 3 problems. We will see. This is my 3rd time trying to record this video, and it's failing to save. So I'm going to shorten it up and do 2 or 3 based on time. Okay? So what I need you to do is pause this video so that you can get a sheet of paper, a pencil, and a pen. Okay, so pause it. And I told you to get a pen because I want you to darken your answer in black, blue, or maybe even purple, something dark, a pen so that I can see your answer. And remember, I will not take your work without actual work on it. So I need to see your actual work, not just an answer. Okay? So I'm going to kind of model what I would want to see. So remember, I'm not going to see this paper. You're not going to turn this physical paper into me. It's going to be on your notebook paper. I'm going to see your handwriting because you're going to take a photo of it from your Chromebook or another device. So number 1 says change 4 1/6 to a decimal. So I'm going to model this. So number 1, 4 1/6. I do not have to copy the whole problem. I am going to put what I think is necessary for me. So since I'm changing this into a decimal, if you know how to do this by yourself, great. Otherwise, this is a lesson we are covering on Tuesday. Okay? So when I do this, I like to go on and put 4 decimal, and you will know this once you have seen my lesson. You can officially make this improper if you want to, and then divide it. But what I do is go on and put my whole number in a decimal, and then I divide the fraction. Okay, numerator divided by denominator. Okay, dividend divided by divisor. Okay, so inside, outside. Now, if you struggle with dividing, you might have learned this from one of your teachers in the past. I'm modifying it a little bit. Does McDonald's sell, it's normally cheeseburgers, I'm just going to put burgers. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So you may have seen that before. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, how many times does 6 go into 1? Well, it won't fit in there, so I'm going to put a 0. Now, I put decimal, decimal, 0 here. Okay? So now I'm going to do 6 into 10. Divide 6 into 10. Now, if you're not good, I'm going to have to move this just a little bit. If you're not good with your 6's, then what I would do is count them. And it's okay to use your fingers and toes or whatever you need to do. 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 6 is 18. Plus 6 is 24. Plus 6 is 30, plus 6 is 36, plus 6 is 42, plus 6 is 48. I'm just going to stop and see if I need to go any further. I don't know. If I need to, that's fine. If not, that's okay. Don't erase this either. This is so good in case you need it for another problem on this paper. Okay? So, 6 into 10, that's too big, so it only goes 1 time. 1 times 6, because that's next. Divide, multiply. 1 times 6, 6. What's next? Subtract. So 6 from 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. Okay. After that, I have a remainder. Since we're wanting this as a decimal, I'm just going to keep going. 0. Bring down. Okay. So we did all of this. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. I still have a remainder, so I'm starting back over with divide. 6 into 40, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is too big, 6. So that's going to go right above the 0, 6. That's the divide, 6 into 40, then multiply. 6 times 6, 36. That was multiply, so now subtract. 36, you can regroup, you can count up, whatever is easiest. 6, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. That's 4 when I subtract. You can also regroup by making that a 10 and that a 3. Now, I still have a remainder, so I'm going to put another 0 and bring it down. So remember, bring down signals, we go back, and we go to divide. 6 into 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 is too big. 6. 6 times 6. 36. Oh, and that's the same thing I had before. So that looks like it's going to keep going, right? It's going to just keep going. I could pull down another 0, but I'm not going to. Since I can tell this is going to literally just keep going on with a 6, I'm going to put 1, 6, and I'm going to put a line just over the 6, not over the 1. The 1 is not repeating, just the 6, okay? So on your piece of paper right now, you can pause the video if you need to, use your pen, darken this answer, make sure there's a box over it, okay, before we move on. Okay, the next one is number 2, 45%, okay? You are going to hear me talk about percent so much, I'm going to tell you, you'll have it memorized, you'll know it backwards and forwards and backwards, up and down, okay? 45%. So, and you're going to hear me use this definition all the time. A percent is a ratio that compares a number to 100. A percent is a ratio that compares a number to 100. A percent is a ratio that compares a number to 100. The word you might kind of know but not remember is a ratio. A ratio is just a comparison of numbers. Okay? So a ratio just means we're comparing more than one thing here. Okay? So, one more time, say it with me. A percent is a ratio that compares a number to 100. We're going to use it over and over and over every practice sheet until you have it down. Go tell somebody that definition, okay? So, a percent is a ratio that compares a number. What number? 45. What does it compare to? 100. That's literally what it means. 45% means 45 out of 100. Now, if you put this, you get half credit. In order to get full credit, you need to simplify. What does simplify mean? Well, you may have heard reduce before. Okay, I don't use that word. I use the word simplify or write in simplest form. Okay, so that's definitely what we're going to do. We're going to write in simplest form. Okay, so that means we're going to divide the top and the bottom. We're going to divide the numerator and the denominator both by the same number. Okay? So what will 45 and 100 divide by? Hopefully you know it will divide by 5. Any whole number that ends in 5 and 0 both divide by 5. So right now, if you don't know what 45 divided by 5 is, I want you to count by 5s until you get to the number 45. Do that now. And hopefully you got 9. Now this is one you're probably going to learn. If you know what 100 divided by 5 is, put that here. If you don't, 100 divided by 5, I'm real quick on this because it's 5s. 5 won't go into 1, 5 will go into 10 2 times. 2 times 5, 10. 0 left, bring down. 5 into 0 is 0. 0 times 5, 0. You have 0 left. Okay? So basically, 5 times 20 is 100. Or 100 divided by 5 is 20. You probably remember that from elementary school. Fact families. So 5 times 20 is 100. Okay. Last problem for this video. And I'm going to make sure I have this written out for you. This should say make 40 over 9 a mixed number. Right now, it's an improper fraction because the numerator is larger than the denominator. Okay? So basically 40 over 9, we're going to make that into a mixed number. 40 over 9. So this, again, this just means we can divide it. Now, the good thing when we divide, does McDonald's sell burgers? We're actually not going to do the bring down in this case because we won't have to, okay? So, if the number was a little bigger, we might need to. So, in case you don't know the nines, I know some of you can do it with your hands. We do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at that. Now you have your multiplication tables. Okay? So, how many times will 9 go into 4? Hopefully I didn't trick you there. It won't go in there. So I'm going to put an X to hold my place value. Okay? 9 into 40. That's too big. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes in 4 times. That's the division. Multiply 4 times 9. 36. There are no more whole numbers here to pull down. I don't want to put decimal 0 because I don't want a decimal. I want a mixed number. So this number becomes your numerator. And I know we are not using a mathematical word here. I like to put top. Just to remind you, that number will go on top. That's the numerator. Over, the denominator is 9. Okay? 4 and 4 ninths. This number down here becomes your numerator. And sometimes, I know you know this from last year, but just in case you forgot, okay? So what I want to make sure that you do is use your pen, write over this, trace over it so that I can see your answer, okay? I'll be able to kind of see your work, but I don't want to misunderstand your answer, so make sure it's in pen. You will do number 4 by yourself, and I will make another video for you for a couple more problems. Good job. Don't lose your paper.